is up, guys? My name is Tausif Hussain, and today we're doing something a little bit different. So for like the longest time, people have always been asking me, either in the comments or even in person, Tausif, how do you film your YouTube videos? What is the stuff that you use? What's your gear? What's your setup like? And also like all that studio stuff at the back there that you guys see. Can we see that? Like what's going on back there? Well, today we're gonna get right into that. Now there's two separate videos that I kind of wanted to make about this. One is my actual like YouTube setup and everything, like the camera I'm using, the lenses, the mic, and all of that good stuff. But then there's another video I wanted to make about my actual process. So like anywhere from like idea generation all the way till the end where I actually finish the edit and the upload and the marketing of it and everything like that. So I kind of wanted to go through that process as well. So because both these topics are super long each on their own, I'm going to keep them separate. So the second idea that I had about the process and all of that stuff, that's going to be a later video. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, make sure you guys drop a like down below, leave it in the comments that they'll see if you know what, we want to see this stuff. And also make sure you guys are subscribed so that you can actually see when that video comes out, and turn on that notification bell while you're at it. Before I get started, I actually sold a couple of my cameras. So right now, all I have on me is the camera that I'm filming on right now. So I'm going to quickly show you what that kind of looks like before we get started, and I'm going to take this camera and kind of take it around, and you guys can follow me with a first-person POV view, and I'll kind of show you my setup and everything that I got going on. Okay, so this is basically how I have my actual camera setup over here. So I have the Sony a7 III, which honestly I love using because it is such a beast of a camera. It's been pretty much my workhorse for the past year and a half, and that's because it comes in such a small, concise package. Also, it's got like pretty much everything that I need, including 120 frames per second, including shooting on like hybrid log gamma, including dual SD cards if I ever need that feature. Honestly, it's just the cheapest full frame camera that I can get that shoots 120 frames per second and 4K with no crop. The only thing that I really don't like about this camera is the fact that it does not have a flip out screen. So that's why you can kind of tell like I need this monitor up top. So the monitor that I'm using here is the small HD 7-inch monitor, and I kind of have that mounted up there and plugged right into the camera. And yeah, just to keep the cables clean, I have like this like little leather strip that holds the cables together. So that is my actual camera setup. Now let me take this off and I'll continue. Okay, so I got the camera off my tripod. By the way, the tripod that I'm using here is the Manfrotto B-Free tripod. It's usually my go-to travel tripod. However, I'm getting the Peak Design travel tripod, so I just found another use for it. I kind of keep it as my stationary tripod. On top here, you'll see that I use the Manfrotto RC2, I believe it's called, RC2 quick release plates, and I kind of have that on all my mounts where I'm gonna put my camera. For example, I'll get into that more over here, but I have one over here as well. So in order to make this hand holding thing easier, I'm gonna use the switch pod right now. So let's go, buddy. So as you saw in my last video, I kind of have this desk setup going here. So if you want to know what exactly is in this desk setup, then it's a good idea to maybe check out my video. I'll have it linked up here somewhere. Okay, so another thing I kind of need my phone to show you guys is the actual lens that I'm using, because it's also being used. So other than my camera, which is a Sony a7 III, the actual lens I'm using is a Sony FE 2.8 16-35 G Master. And the reason that I'm actually using this particular lens is because it allows me to go super wide and give that awesome shallow depth of field. And especially now I need that wide angle, because if I'm going to be hand holding the camera talking to you guys, then I kind of need that wide angle view. So okay, let's continue. Okay, let's get started with the audio. So for the audio, I kind of use the shotgun boom mic. It's called the Rode NTG4 Plus. The main reason I like this is because it gives really good quality. Like from my videos, like the audio sounds so much better on this guy. And also I can plug it in to charge basically, so that phantom power is not an issue. So you have that, and then I kind of have a cable going back. It's on this boom pole over here, and it kind of goes all the way down. The cable comes under the table, and I kind of have this cable clip, which I also talked about in my desk setup video, and the cable clip kind of holds the cable all the way up here, and this is where I record my audio, and it's recorded externally into this guy, which is the Zoom H4n Pro. I think this is an awesome external audio recorder for the price, and then it has the XLR inputs. I also have a power plugged into it, so I don't have to use the actual batteries, because this thing chews up batteries like anything. And it also has its own mic. If you ever need a mic in a pinch, then you can use that as well. Okay, so I have this friction arm here that's mounted on the leg of this table where I kind of sit to film at, and it holds this external recorder up. And the reason why I like having this right beside me is because if I ever want to see the levels or anything like that of what I'm recording, or let's say I want to toggle the actual recording of the audio, then I have it right at my fingertips right beside me. Now, honestly, anybody who goes into filmmaking or filming stuff for YouTube or whatever it is, they really, initially, you don't realize the importance of audio and lighting, including myself, because I thought, you know what, I'll just get a decent camera and then I'll kind of just start recording. But you quickly realize that audio, one, makes a thing a lot more professional, because if you have really crappy audio, then it can really mess up a video and people will not watch it. Like you might watch something in like 720p, but if the audio is good, you may watch it. But let's say you have something in like 4K or 1080p, but the audio is crappy, then it's kind of tough to pay attention to that. And the other thing that's super important is lighting. Like, lighting is super key. Now, you want something that will give you a nice, soft, diffuse light, and that's where this light comes in. Let me show you. So this firstly is the Aperture 120D. So this is the light that I've been using pretty much for the past year and a half, and I highly recommend this light. It's got like fans and everything like that in order to keep it cool. You can't even hear the fan. And then I have it kind of mounted on this C-stand. Let me zoom out a bit. On the C-stand here, and this unit also comes with the actual light, and you can use this to kind of adjust the brightness or any other settings that you need to do. However, I actually kind of have this over here, which is a remote for the actual light, and I can kind of toggle on or off with the remote or adjust the brightness or anything like that. So the C-stand here is also a pretty heavy duty C-stand, and it's required because you can see the size of this thing. It's massive. It's pretty much taking up like half of my room. Because on the actual light, I have this Aperture light dome, which allows me to get that soft diffused light. So another light that I sometimes use is this guy right here, which is the Aperture Amaran AL-H198, and that's basically a light that I use right by the window if I'm not getting enough light from the actual window. So like you can tell right now it's about to get dark, so I don't get enough light. So maybe I'll use this just to get a little bit of a hair light going when I'm sitting right here facing the camera. Now this is another one of my Manfrotto quick release plates, which I talked about, the RC2, I believe. Now this is mounted on a ball head over here, and I kind of have the ball head hooked up to this blue, I don't remember what it's called, but it's basically like a microphone stand that you can use. But I can basically swivel this around anywhere, kind of adjust the height of it or anything like that, and put it over here. And basically I use that to do my top-down shots. So if I'm doing some top-down shots, or I need to do a lot of top-down shots, then I'll hook up my camera over here, and then I'll plug this into the HDMI, which kind of goes all the way around under the table and routes up here. And this is the small HD Focus 5 monitor, I believe, so it's slightly smaller than the one I showed earlier, but that is on this Manfrotto Pixie tripod, tabletop tripod, and I kind of have that feed coming. That way I don't have to keep looking up here to see what I'm filming. I can just kind of have an overhead shot and also see it right on there. Now, I actually had a bunch of backpacks that were hanging up here. However, I kind of had to start taking them off because I'm going to be painting this side of the wall and kind of changing up the look over here. So I kind of just have all my stuff just sitting down here while I find storage for it. Like, I'm going to be putting all of this stuff in a closet. All it is just like a bunch of backpacks. So I have like a motorcycle backpack that I use here by OGO. So when I'm out riding or anything like that on my motorbike, then I'll take that. Then this is the Peak Design. I believe it's a travel backpack. It's the one that you can put put in a whole bunch of other compartments or individual compartments that go into it, and it opens from the back. This is like a Peak Design, like a sling bag, which I use as well. If I'm just going on like a quick day trip and I just need, all I need is the camera, then I'll take that guy. Now, these are all the compartments that I talked about that kind of go inside this bag over here. Yeah, that's about it. This is my Peak Design everyday backpack. So you can tell I'm kind of a big fan of Peak Design backpacks. However, I did actually order the Peter McKinnon Nomadic backpack. So I'm excited to see how that compares to these backpacks that I just kind of showed you right now. So I'll probably have to sell some of these guys in order to make room for that. Over here, I have like the Rhino Slider backpack, which I'll talk about in a bit once we get to that area over there. And then I have my gimbal over here, which is the DJI Ronin S, SC actually. And honestly, I don't use that much at all. I should probably look into selling that. And then there I have like a drone carry case. So that's about it for this half of the room. Over here, I kind of have like a one wheel stand that I use to dock my one wheel on. And this is another tripod that I use. So if I'm filming around the room or anything like that, then I primarily use this tripod. But this is the Manfrotto 502 head, I believe, and I kind of have that same quick release mount mounted on here. And I have it on these Benro tripod legs, which are pretty good. They've served me pretty well. Okay, next up, my actual backdrop. So let's start off with this side here, which is basically where I keep some of my camera equipment. So I have like two other lenses over here. This is the Tamron 28 to 75 lens, and honestly this guy is my workhorse. Like, I use this lens for pretty much anything and everything, unless I need like a wide angle shot or I need a really tight shot with a low aperture, then I'll go with that one, because this is the 85 f1.8 lens, which gives me really nice bokeh, and I really like using that lens for like portraits or getting some nice shallow depth of field. But my go-to lens, Tamron 28 to 75, highly recommend, cannot go wrong with it. Over here I have the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus, and that's basically what I have on top of this camera if I'm going out vlogging or doing anything like that. These guys here that you see here are called macro tubes, and that's if you don't have a macro lens, then you're able to get some macro shots just using these guys. Maybe I'll make a video about it someday, but yeah. Oh yeah, I totally forgot to mention, this is the DJI Osmo Action. So I don't know if you've seen some of my videos, I do like POV shots that kind of make it look like there's a camera inside the bag of chips or inside cereal or something like that. That's basically what I use in order to accomplish that kind of shot, so I can throw that camera in like places where I wouldn't really put a regular camera. But yeah, that's that. This is my Apple HomePod. To be quite honest, I got it because it just looks so good on camera and it just looks so good as B-roll. But I basically use it to listen to podcasts or any audio or anything like that, or even just to control stuff inside my room. For example, hey, can you turn off my studio lights? Okay, this is a variable ND filter by Peter McKinnon that I use for my camera. So if I'm ever filming outside, variable NDs, as you know, are super paramount. So I kind of use those for that. And then I have like this mood lighting at the back here. So this is the Bowling P1 light, and I really like this light as my go-to travel or like quick light, because you can select all your settings over here. You can see the battery life, you can see everything, and yeah, it's so easy to set up and pinch, and able to get some nice RGB light, or even just regular Kelvin 5500 light or anything like that. Okay, so just some other aesthetic stuff like this plant here, and then I have my Rode Wireless Go lav mic and the Rode Wireless Go itself, which I have hooked up right now that I'm using. Now this is something I'm going to be making a video about very soon, and this is the slider. So if you notice in my videos recently, I've been doing a lot of like sliding shots where it kind of speed ramps, and it gives like a really nice look to some of the shots. This is how I'm able to achieve those. So it's basically a slider I mount onto either a tripod, or I use the legs and I kind of just put it on the table. I'll be doing a video about that, but yeah, that's super awesome. I kind of have a charging hub here where I can plug in, like if I have multiple phones right now for review or anything like that. And then this is my travel Ember mug where I use this to, oh yeah, there's going to be a video coming out about this as well. Just some other stuff. And then this is where I have all my charging equipment. It looks a little little messy, but honestly, there are a lot of things that I charged down here. So this is the cleanest I could get it. Like I literally have all the cables like wrapped up and everything, but yeah, there's like huge power bricks back there and everything. I kind of have like a hole in the back there that kind of goes in order to power like these things and any other charger and stuff at the top over there. But yeah, so there's like cabling behind this actual bookshelf as well. So this is like my charging station where I charge all my camera batteries, my monitor batteries, my drone batteries, my DJI Osmo Action. It all gets charged over here. That is basically a Wi-Fi router. Up here I have just some stuff that I didn't know where to put, but it's like a phone mount and like some other Joby Gorilla Pods that I use for like phones or anything like that if I need to for shots. This is a very sad story. I love this thing. It is the Mavic 2 Pro, and I also have the smart controller at the back there. It's actually really sad because I absolutely love that drone and I love flying drones, but yeah, like, I mean, the Canadian laws changed and now you kind of need like a pilot's license or something like that in order to fly it. I'm actually in the process of writing that test or that exam for that. So once I get that, then that drone's going back up and you're gonna see more drone shots in my videos. Now over here, just some more mood stuff. I got like a plant and like some other Team Crispy stuff and like some old iPods. I got like Casey Neistat shades back there, like a sticker, and then an actual, so this is another light that I use for mood or for filming or anything. This is another aperture light. It's called the Amaran AL-M9 light, and it's also super cool. Although I still do prefer that one that I talked about earlier. This one's really nice and small, so I mean, they both have their pros and cons. I know they have like colored, like RGB versions of these. This one is not an RGB version, so it only shines in this one color. I can adjust like the brightness and everything like that, but that's about it. Okay, that pretty much sums up what is in the backdrop over here. I actually used to have one more shelf over here, which I've kind of taken off because I've already started kind of disassembling quite a bit of stuff here. But I kind of just threw that stuff on this table inside my drawers and stuff like that. So as you can see, this is where I store a lot of my cables. So I kind of have like a lot of like the miscellaneous stuff that I use for filming, batteries, some ball heads, random stuff. Here are some connectors and things like that that I need, or for example, like this dongle, random stuff here. And then I have all these cables which are tied up. So I like keeping all my cables nice and neat. So I'll have all my cables kind of in this Velcro strap. So yeah, that's that. And then I have like some more like cases and other stuff that I can use to put stuff in. I have some like ND filters for like the drone or the DJI Osmo Action. Some covers, some like carrying cases for other ND filters, stuff like that, some straps. Yeah, but that's about it. Now this video is slightly different compared to what I'm usually used to doing. If you've seen my older videos, pretty much most of my videos have like the usual cinematic intro or like a storyline or some sort of skit or anything like that. And then I'll have like a bunch of nice B-roll shots and stuff like that while I talk. This one was super informal. I kind of just grabbed my camera and just like walked around my entire studio just showing you what I have in here. But yeah, that's about it. I hope this scratched your curiosity itch and you kind of have an idea of what I use now. All the stuff that I talked about, pretty much most of it, will be linked in the description down below. I mean, if there's anything that I missed, please do let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll be more than happy to list it in the description for you to check it out. But yeah, that's my studio. So I hope you found this video interesting, educational, and entertaining. And if you did, then make sure you guys go ahead and crush that like button. If you like content around tech, gadgets, filmmaking, and lifestyle, make sure you guys go ahead and smash that subscribe button. And as usual, I will see you guys on the next one. Peace. The thing about winter that I hate is the fact that it is 5 p.m. right now. And outside it looks like 10 p.m. And I feel like it's 10 p.m. We're good to go. My hair's okay. I don't even know. I don't even care. You know what? Because I don't care about this stuff. You know, it's not a big deal to me. I'll be right back, guys. Just gonna check in the bathroom. Usually when I'm recording like a YouTube video, and I'll talk about this when I do my video on the process, I kind of have like a song or a tune or something in my head when I'm thinking of like the intro and the B-roll sequences and stuff like that. So today when I was doing it, literally I just had the Succession theme song, and that theme song is stuck in my head. So literally the whole time I just have that playing in my mind. Okay, so that about